How you end a cycle invariably determines how you begin the next one. And the cosmos, in its wisdom, is offering us, in the last days of July, a rare and precious opportunity, the chance to do a deep soul cleanse before turning the calendar page to August. Think about it. Do you want to start the next month with clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose? Or do you want to drag into the new days the same old weights, the same old doubts, and the same old confusions of the past? The choice is yours, and it is made this week. This is not a week for forcing new projects or for seeking great external results. It is a week for an inward journey, an invitation to pause, to feel, to heal, and above all, to find your inner truth. The truth about what is working in your life and what needs, once and for all, to be left behind in the soil of July. This guide will illuminate your path through the 3 crucial phases of healing and revelation that will unfold starting tomorrow. First, the cosmos opens a door to healing for us, an unexpected opportunity to use our words to soothe old wounds in our self-esteem. Next, it invites us on a deep and necessary dive into our most primordial wound, not to feel pain, but to find the wisdom it hides. And finally, after the dive, it gifts us with a moment of blinding clarity, a download of truth that has the power to definitively realign your mind with your heart. Most people will enter August on autopilot, carrying the invisible baggage of July without even realizing it. They will wonder why the same old problems persist, why they feel stuck in the same loops. Not you. By dedicating yourself to this inner journey this week, you are consciously choosing to start the next month lighter, wiser, and more powerful. The goal is to end the week with a new and unshakable sense of who you really are, so that you can begin August from a place of authentic and unshakable truth. Our journey begins with the first door the cosmos opens for us, the door of healing through the Word. And the first door the cosmos opens for us on this journey is not a door of confrontation, but of grace. On Monday, July 28th, the sky gifts us with one of the gentlest, most subtle and healing energies that exist, a harmonious sextile between Venus, the goddess of love and our worth, and Chiron, the wounded healer. This is not an energy that demands or forces, it offers. It is a balm, a bridge of golden light extended over the turbulent waters of our deepest wound, inviting us to cross. To understand the preciousness of this gift, we need to remember the nature of our pain. As we have seen in previous journeys, Chiron in Aries represents our primordial identity wound, the painful and often unconscious belief that there is something wrong with me, that I am not good enough to exist as I am. This wound makes us doubt our own courage, silence our voice for fear of rejection, and incessantly seek external validation to prove our right to take up space. It is the original crack in our inner mirror that distorts the way we see ourselves, making us focus only on our flaws. This wound manifests in our communication in painful ways. The defensive aggressiveness when we feel criticized, the paralyzing silence when we have an original idea, or the need to turn any dialogue into a debate to prove we are intelligent. And what is the balm the universe offers us? Venus in the sign of Gemini. Venus is our sense of worth, our self-love, our ability to create harmony. In Gemini, she expresses herself through the word, through thought, through dialogue. She is the ability to rewrite our internal narrative, to choose words that value us instead of diminish us, to find beauty in exchange and connection. The sextile, the bridge of opportunity, unites these two forces. It is an explicit invitation from the universe to use words, Gemini, as a balm of love, Venus, to apply directly to our identity wound. Chiron in Aries. How will you feel this energy? On Monday, you might find yourself in a conversation where, for the first time in a long time, you feel safe to express a vulnerability without fear of judgment. The right words, the words that heal instead of hurt, may arise in your mind with an unusual clarity and ease. Or conversely, you might be the listener, and someone may open up to you, offering you the sacred opportunity to use your words not to give advice, but to offer compassion and validation, healing the other and, by resonance, yourself. This is a day where communication becomes a sacred act of healing. It is a golden opportunity to have that conversation you've been avoiding, not from a place of confrontation, but from a place of vulnerability and a genuine desire for connection. It is the moment to rewrite an old script in a relationship, to apologize, not out of weakness, but out of strength, to offer forgiveness, not out of obligation, but out of a desire to free yourself from the weight of the past. It is the chance to look at yourself in the mirror and, instead of listing your flaws, to say out loud a single thing you love and admire about yourself. To connect with this energy, reflect on this today. What is the healing conversation you have been avoiding out of fear? If you had the perfect words, born from self-love and not from the wound, what would you say? Write this golden letter in your journal without the intention of sending it, just to give shape to the balm. This healing opportunity is not accidental. It is the necessary preparation for the deeper work the week demands. The universe, in its compassion, first offers us the balm, the chance to soften the skin around the wound before inviting us to dive into it for the extraction of the lesson. The energy of Venus and Chiron reminds us that all deep healing must begin with an act of self-love, with the conscious choice to be gentle with our own pain. Honor this portal, for the gentleness and self-compassion you cultivate on this day will be your armor and your strength for the dive that will follow. And this dive happens in the heart of the week, on Wednesday, the 30th. After the gentle and healing preparation of Venus, the cosmos invites us to the deepest, most challenging, and ultimately most liberating work. This is not a portal of external action, but of radical introspection. It is the day when Chiron, the wounded healer, stops in the heavens and begins its months-long retrograde journey in Aries. It is the moment to dive into the origin of the wound. What does it mean when a celestial body, like Chiron, stations retrograde? Imagine a high-speed train that, before it can reverse its course, must first slow down to a complete stop. This moment of stopping, the station, is the point of maximum potency in the retrograde cycle. The energy of Chiron, which normally moves forward, helping us to heal others and deal with our pain in the world, now turns entirely inward, with a focused and relentless intensity. It is a universal call for a deep review of our pain and our healing process. There is no longer any way to flee or be distracted by the outer world. The journey now is to the depths of ourselves, and this stop happens in Aries, the sign of the I Am. The Chiron wound here, as we have already felt, is about our right to exist, to initiate, to be ourselves without apology. It is the identity wound, the primordial crack in our sense of worth. When Chiron stops at this point, it forces us to stop too and to look directly at the root of this pain. It invites us to descend into the crypt of our psyche, the place where the original wound was inflicted, the moment when, for the first time, we learned that being ourselves was somehow dangerous or wrong. This dive is not to relive the trauma for the sake of reliving it. It is a sacred archaeological excavation, and the goal of any archaeologist is not the dust and difficulty of the excavation, but the treasure of wisdom that is buried beneath the layers of time. What might you feel on this day and in the days that follow? A deep melancholy may emerge, an extreme vulnerability. Memories or feelings from childhood may surface without an apparent trigger. You might feel compelled to revisit old photos, to reread old journals, or to dream of people from your past. Do not resist this. This is not a regression. It is your spirit guiding you with a lantern to the original crime scene, the moment when a piece of your soul fragmented. The energy of Chiron retrograde asks us to become the compassionate detectives of our own story. The questions it poses to us are, where and when did I learn that it was not safe to be myself? What was the decision my inner child made in that moment to survive that pain? Perhaps the decision to become invisible, or to become the perfect pleaser, or to become a rebel. What is the story I have been telling myself about my worth ever since? It is not about blaming the past or the people in it. It is about understanding the script so that we, as the conscious adults we are today, can give our inner child what they did not receive at the time: validation, security, and unconditional permission to exist. The dive into the wound is the most courageous act of the healing journey. It is the moment we stop running from our own pain and turn to face it, not with fear, but with the curiosity of an archaeologist and the compassion of a healer. It is in this dive that the true alchemy happens. The pain, when seen, heard, and understood, begins to lose its power over us and to transform into wisdom, into power, into compassion. But this deep and at times dark work is not the end of the story. The universe never leads us to a wound without then offering us the light of understanding. After the dive into the depths comes the moment of revelation, the moment of blinding clarity that gives meaning to the entire excavation. And this clarity arrives on the last day of the month, Thursday, July 31st, not like a gentle breeze, but like a ray of golden light that pierces the darkness. After the archaeological excavation of your soul, after the courageous work of looking at the wound, the cosmos always invariably offers grace. It offers us the revelation. This is the portal of the cazimi, the moment of supreme mental clarity, the divine answer key to the test you have just faced. To understand the magic and rarity of this moment, we need to delve into one of the most precious jewels of ancient astrology. The word cazimi comes from Arabic and literally means in the heart of the sun. It is a technical and sacred term reserved for the exact and extremely rare moment when a planet, in its movement, aligns perfectly with the exact center of the sun, less than 17 minutes of arc away. It is crucial to understand the difference. When a planet is simply near the sun, but not exactly in its heart, it is considered combust. Its energy is overshadowed, burned, lost in the overwhelming glare of the Sun King. It's like trying to light a candle next to a bonfire. Its light becomes invisible. Its message is lost. It is being in the castle courtyard, dazzled by the light emanating from the throne room window. But at the exact moment of the cazimi, for a window of a few hours, the opposite happens. The planet is not burned, it is purified, empowered, and crowned. It is invited into the king's throne room, sits on the throne itself, and for a brief and magical period, speaks with the very voice and the unquestionable authority of the sun. Think of it as the moment when the messenger, Mercury, is received in a private audience by the king, Sun, and is imbued with divine power. Its words, its thoughts, its ideas for this brief period are not just its own. They are considered direct channelings from the source of life and consciousness. It is a portal of mental clarity, of truth, and of divine revelation, an opportunity to receive a message directly from the source. And this week's cazimi happens with Mercury in the sign of Leo. Mercury, as we know, is the planet of our mind, our communication, our perception, and our logic. Leo is the sign of the heart, of our identity, of our creativity, and of our authentic self-expression. What happens when our mind, Mercury, is invited into the heart of the sun, the essence, in the sign of the heart, Leo, the sacred union between the mind and the soul occurs. It is a moment when logic, Mercury, is infused with the passion and truth of our heart, Leo. The practical result is a download of clarity about our true identity and purpose. It is the eureka moment, where, after the painful dive into the Chiron wound, we finally understand the lesson on a higher level. The clarity you receive on this day will most likely be a direct answer to the questions your Chiron in Aries wound has asked you. If your wound whispers, "I am not good enough," the clarity of the cazimi may arrive as an unshakable vision of your intrinsic worth. If your wound says, "I don't have the right to initiate," the cazimi might deliver a brilliant action plan and the courage to execute it. The message will be about your personal sovereignty, your creative power, your right to shine. It is the golden antidote of the sun to the poison of Chiron's self-doubt. You will feel it as a clarity of thought that seems to come from outside of you, as if a wiser voice were thinking through you. A brilliant idea that solves a complex problem. The perfect phrase to express a feeling. It is the moment when the mental static dissipates and your soul's radio station comes into perfect tune. To receive this clarity, your only task is to create a space for it. The revelation cannot arrive amidst the noise of the world. On the 31st, find a moment of stillness, even if it's just 10 minutes. Take your journal. Write at the top of the page the question that emerged from your dive into Chiron. Perhaps it is, "What is the truth about my worth?" Or, "How can I heal this pattern?" And then, just sit, breathe. Do not try to think of the answer. Do not force it. Just be present and receptive. The clarity of the cazimi is not something you discover through effort. It is something you receive when you are quiet enough to listen. The dive into the wound and the moment of clarity. They are the two faces of the same coin of healing. Chiron shows us the question, and the Sun and Mercury cazimi delivers the answer. But an answer, a revelation, however powerful, is just the beginning. With this new and golden truth in your hands, what will you do with it? How will you protect it and nurture it so that it can become the new solid foundation of your life? And with this question, what will you do with this new truth? Zrenia, this week's journey reaches its point of transmutation. The last days of July have been a portal of purification, a great spring cleaning for your soul. The transformation offered to you was that of becoming the alchemist of your own story. You dove into the pain of Chiron and emerged with wisdom. You faced the pause of Saturn and emerged with resilience. You received the clarity of Mercury and emerged with a new truth. You have swept the dark corners and opened the windows to the light. Many will enter the new month of August carrying the weight and dust of July and will wonder why they feel so tired, blocked, and why the same old problems persist. Their decisions will be cloudy, contaminated by the unresolved energy of the previous cycle. They will try to build the new upon the old without realizing that the foundation is compromised. Their energy will be divided between looking forward and being pulled back. But not you. You have done the work. You have honored the end of July with a courageous introspection. Therefore, you are not just ending a month. You are completing a healing cycle so that you can begin the next one from a place of total and unified power. Your energy is not divided. Your foundation is clean. you are ready to build. If this journey of review and healing has resonated with your heart, if you feel lighter, clearer, and more prepared for what comes next, anchor this energy of renewal in your life by liking this video. And for our final act of power, let us declare together the beginning of our new cycle. Today's CTA is not a word, it is a decree. It is your conscious decision to no longer drag the past along. Go to the comments section and declare your intention to the universe. Write the phrase, "August begins now." Feel the strength of this declaration. It is your decision to start the future from this point of clarity, and not from the habit of yesterday. Read the declarations of other souls who are also turning the page and feel the power of beginning this new chapter together. And share this transmission with everyone you know who needs to do this soul cleanse before the new month begins. Finally, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the house is clean. But now, the most exciting part begins. The decoration. The new month will bring new opportunities and new challenges that will demand this new version of you, more healed and conscious. The journey from healing to creation is just beginning, and you will want to have the map for the next territory. Welcome to the rest of your life.